I know I've taken this long. Shout out to Ben Bateman for being patient, and to possibly Big Brain on Music if you're still out there. I know you were my fact checker when it came to the Goo Goo Dolls. So if you're still out there, buddy, under a different name, and I don't know it, or if not, then hopefully shout out to you, man. Thanks for those earlier years. I don't think I didn't forget you, man. But yeah, Goo Goo Dolls, Goo Goo Dolls, GutterFlower. It is as of last April. That's how long I've been holding out on this thing. As has been essentially this band has been about 20 years old. This album, I believe, and yeah, I like this album a lot. I've talked and championed about this record. Forgive me for moving stuff around, but yes, I've championed this album for quite some time. It is the third major label record under Warner Brothers Music, I believe, is the label. And let me double check. Yes. Yes, it is. But I'm missing like maybe 3 to 4 other albums prior to Superstar Car Wash, at least. Back when it's more the Two-Cack days and not the more Resnick days, as this would be third on the Resnick of the more Resnick era. Before the eventual fall following this album in Let Love In. I don't know if I'm going to bother to talk about that thing. Because that was, I think, where it started to go downhill for there. If they even had something close to what they used to be, I don't know. I've not heard anything much, if good, on anything since Let Love In, so that's my take on how the band has been lately. Yeah, this album is very solid, and it's probably the album where I think they get a response to some people who wanted them to make a more rock record, but still kind of keep what they were kind of getting there, keep that sort of commercialism or more accessible pop aspect that they were starting to go into around Dizzy Up the Girl and the success of ISIS leading up to that point. Songs that to me, the song I've tried playing, Big Machine, the riff is pretty solid. At least the portion I like of it, from the opening. And ecstasy is all you need living in the big machine. Oh, you're so vain. Now your world is way too fast. Nothing's real and nothing lasts. Love you, you don't care. Turn your anger into lust. I'm still here, but you don't trust at all. And waiting, love, sex, and loneliness. Take what's yours and leave the rest, so I'll survive. God, it's good to be alive. Sarcastically speaking, I guess, in the way they're saying this. But yeah, it's also around the time frame where I think emo was starting to become a thing. Because by the time I think this album came out, I believe Jimmy World might have already released Bleed American. And by that point, they were starting to kind of take up, I believe, the mantle that Goo Goo Dolls was leaving behind sonically. But even better than that, and edgier than that, and more thought-provoking than that to me. Take what you will of that. It's a hot take, but... And then, of course, I liked the singles. Think About Me was one of my favorites as well. Here Is Gone was I still like the singles that came off of this. That Sympathy. Think About Me is sort of a minor one, I think. And then I think You Never Know, which was, I think, believe, Take Act, one of Take Act's songs. And it is actually, I think, one of the better songs that he's written. That's not as super like childishly cheesy because sometimes he can come off that way. Even on the what I still think is their best album, that does come about a bit at points. What Resnick wrote for What It Seems Nice. Up, up, up isn't bad. It's over was pretty good. Of course, Sympathy. What do you need is great. Smash is pretty. Actually, I find to be a little like a lot of the stuff that is going on this that is Tupac is more pop punk oriented in a good, and I think in a good way. And I think it might be the last more rockin' stuff you'll get out of Tupac's era of stuff. Unless there's somebody who's still kept bothered to keep up with them post Let Love In. Like, let me know if it was something I'd like to at least give that a shot. Um, maybe. And I do like that Truth is a Whisper, how a track like that closes that one out. It's a whisper and only a choice. Nobody hears above the noise. It's always a risk when you try to believe so much more than me. Yeah, I got caught in the roots of the world. It's just a promise no one ever keeps, and now it's changing while we sleep and no one can see. You know all I am. Feel this moment in you. You know all I am. Can you teach me to believe in something? Something to choke on the smell just to breathe. I need to question what I need. Rhythm of silence that beats through your mind. Still you forget what you deny. Of course, the pre-chorus, then the chorus again, and then a bridge thing, and then a chorus again. But yes, I mean, What a Scene is actually What a Scene just has an issue I do have with this album a little bit, in like they do the na-nas unnecessary. Like I don't mind the length they go to it if it was live, but in studio, you could have trimmed a lot of that off. I'm just saying. There's no need for all that na-na. Luckily, it's not in the lyrics, thank goodness. It was just added in, ad lib pretty much. Feeling all wrong in the back of your, like doing a slightly rappy thing, but not, but it's more just a fast paced, like beatnik rap thing with when you feeling all wrong in the back of your mind again. How does it feel when you drop down everything? Down, everything's all the same. Saccharine, caffeine, nicotine, gum. Yeah, it tastes sweet, but it's not for long, and you just think you thought it would be. For truth on the cover of a magazine. How does it feel when you find out what you're not gonna be? They give you your image and you believe. Open your eyes. Tell me, what do you see? And I just think you thought it surreal. How does it feel when you're out on your own and now it's too late to come home? And it's hard to be free when you're down on your knees. Take it easy when you make it till you make it alone. Now you're a supermarket punk rock television comedy out on the scene. Yeah, I bit down. Now there's no hand to feed. And all the beautiful images lining your walls. Pop radio screaming down the halls. Now you think you found something real. Money and the things that you need. Live a big lie and they all believe. Now just found somehow obscene. And of course the chorus of how does it feel to be out on your own. It's all been said before and all been done. Take it easy till you make it alone. I It's just a shame the Na Na Na's kind of ruined what is honestly one of the better written songs of the deep cuts on this thing to me, but that's kind of like one of my complaints of it. There's some other little things here and there. Mostly just certain songs Tupac does that are lyrically come off a bit childish. It's a bit, like, not of his age. Um, you know? But that's been I guess it's even on one of the better records, it's been a complaint, but I still like this thing. Still like this thing. Overall, I still think musically it's still solid through line. I've and sadly it's the last honestly good, if not great, album they've ever made. Unfortunately, since Let Live In didn't really live up to anything the band left off with after GutterFlower. So, and whatever they did then kind of set the tone for everything moving forward from what I've heard of at points in my life since. Or at least I kind of knew that the moment I heard the single Before It's Too Late that was off the Transformers soundtrack, which is the last decent song I heard from them. And then after that, it just. And then they just kind of disappeared. And then when they try to come back, and barely anybody even knows they even came back. Barely. Unless you're like that diehard a Goo Goo Dolls fan or bother to listen to radio anymore, I guess. I don't know. That's just me on this point. But what did you guys think? I think of GutterFlower. As far as I'm concerned, I would probably put it up there and in the same. I'd give it the same score, but but for my own personal taste, would give it a slight edge over Dizzy Up the Girl. Still, feel like coming back to this record as a whole lot more. Initially, when I used to just look at this as a cherry picking experience, I saw more tracks that I liked from this as opposed to Dizzy Up the Girl at the time. Luckily, that album, my thoughts on that album have changed completely as an album as a whole with that one. And luckily, my thoughts on this album as a whole is not changed that much. It's but I still have a greater appreciation for it as an album as a whole, even more so than I did initially did when I just had it as a cherry picking experience. So that's my thoughts about this record. What did you guys think of? What did you guys think of this classic in GutterFlower? Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, keep it random. Keep it random. Keep it real. Keep it rocking. I will see you in the next video, whatever that entails. Take care, y'all.